Welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thanks for joining me. Today I got some breaking news for you out of the Supreme Court. Today they have ruled on Donald Trump's immunity in the election subversion case, saying that presidents have absolute immunity when it comes to official acts, and they deemed pretty much everything he did in terms of trying to subvert the 2020 election as covered under absolute immunity. So literally all a president has to do now is deem an individual or a group or even a business as a national security threat, and they can have them taken out based on this ruling. And they wouldn't be able to, there's nothing we could do to stop them. They literally made the presidency a kingship as of this morning. This is just the beginning of Project 2025. And I didn't think the courts were going to be the ones to install it. I thought for sure it would get pushed by Republicans in Congress first, but no. Between the ruling last week on the Chevron decision, which basically guts the federal government in a lot of ways, making it where people that should be considered important can be fired at will by the president just because they disagree with it. Project 2025 has already started. And the ruling today just solidifies that even further and makes it clear that we're done. Our democratic republic, dead. Because now the president is a king. That's not the America I grew up in. That's not the America I learned about. The America I learned about was about not having a king. That a president having absolute authority to do whatever the hell he wants is not reasonable. It goes against everything that America stands for. That's what I was taught growing up. That's what I was taught growing up in the 80s. Is that America didn't want a king. That America wanted somebody who would do the will of the people and was not above the law. But now this, going back, that would mean what? That Nixon wasn't a criminal? That Nixon didn't deserve to be impeached? Hell, can you impeach a president after this ruling? Because how can Congress charge a president with high crimes and misdemeanors if everything a president does is considered immune or considered to have absolute immunity? Now, there was a distinction made. There's a distinction made between, public action and private action. There was saying that, the stuff he did in official capacity as president was immune, is immune to prosecution. But that he could be prosecuted on other things that he may have done, that were not part of being official. At the end of the day, this is a bad day for America. It's a dark day. Because our bought and sold Supreme Court, the kangaroo court that it is, has decided that the president is a king. That has absolute immunity against anything he does. They send it back to the lower courts to decide on what private action versus public action is. Things that are covered versus aren't. As opposed, to making the decision themselves. They made sure there was enough delays that Donald Trump will never see court for anything. Because once he gets elected in November, on January 20th, 2025, he will immediately pardon himself and shut down all investigations. And that's absolutely disgusting. Now, what it means for his state cases, like the federal case, is basically dead. There's almost nothing they can do. They can try to continue it, but the lower courts will just end up ruling against them and end up at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to throw it out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now, does that affect the state cases against the fake electors and stuff like that against him? I don't know. But the ruling also said that any evidence that was taken from things he said or did during official activities cannot be used as evidence in any trial. So, at the end of the day, I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, it just seems that America is gone. The America I knew is gone.